everyone. So this summer, I took Richmond to Sierra Leone because Sierra Leone came to Richmond. I decided to intern at the Western Area Rural District Council for several reasons, one of which was I wanted to test how my Richmond education is preparing me for life and work in a developing country. And I'm pleased to say it's done a good job of that. So the Western Area Rural District Council is a local government agency that is tasked with providing public services like healthcare and education to residents of the Western Area Rural District. So for context, the Western Area Rural District is now, based on the recent census, one of the largest local districts in Sierra Leone, catering to about 550,000 people. That's a lot. And I honestly was intimidated because I was like, I'm taking this internship. What exactly am I going to do? How am I going to cater to 550,000 people? What is my place in this space? And I had a wonderful faculty mentor, Bob Spires, that helped me figure out the space I was about to occupy, like what it is about. And he had me do a lot of readings about how local governments came into place in Sierra Leone. A lot of these readings mentioned that the whole idea of decentralizing and having local governments was because of the civil war that Sierra Leone had undergone in the 1990s, which basically was the fact that power was centralized in the capital city of Freetown. So a lot of people in the rural areas felt like their voices were not being heard because there was a lot of power abuses and they were not basically benefiting from it. And so they took to arms, and there was a 10-year-long conflict. So I went to Sierra Leone working at the Western Area Rural District Council. My job title officially was project intern. What project? There were a lot of projects. But specifically, I was working with the European Union project that was aimed at strengthening local government. And that's a big, big topic. How do you strengthen local government? So they had a lot of things they were looking at. Schools, infrastructure for schools, education, healthcare, basically equipping local government, the local government council itself, with the know-how and things like that. But a lot of the readings my faculty mentor made me read, which were very interesting, mentioned that one of the paramount ways to ensure that decentralization continued and that the peace that it was supposed to establish continues was to have people involved. Citizen engagement and citizen voice. Those two things, they were paramount to ensuring that the peace that decentralization was trying to come up with as a post-conflict stabilization tool continued. So one of the ways I actually saw how citizen voice and citizen engagement transformed the happenings in the local council was in something as basic as property rate collection. So people pay money for their properties, which local governments use to fund their activities. Basically, it's a cycle. You give them money, they pour it back into the community. So initially, this process had been outsourced to an external party because the local council thought, we don't have the capacity to do this. We don't have enough staff. We don't have the people to man this process. So they gave it to some company who did. But based on feedback they were getting from the community, they decided, we need to take this process back because the people are not happy with it. So what they did to make sure that they basically closed this gap that they didn't have before that caused them to outsource was they used the community. They initiated something wherein they trained members of the community to be evaluators, to be distributors of demand notices, which is like the document that tells you how much you have to pay for your property. They use these people to sensitize the community about why they need to pay their property rates. So there was a mix of transparency and engaging people and making them have a say in decision making. And what did that lead to? In the year that they began this initiative, they got revenue that was way higher than they had been receiving from this third-party collector. And I was like, aha, now I see it. This is why it's important to have people involved in decision making. If you listen to what people are saying to you, you take appropriate action, you can get increased revenue, among other things. So I want to say thank you to all the people who made it possible for me to go home and just get this experience to know more about my local government, because if I was being honest, I didn't know that much. But I got that experience, and I want to say thank you to everyone who made that happen.